drum.
Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm glad to have you with us for NBA basketball. It's Friday night basketball. It's going to be Russell Westbrook and the Oklahoma City Thunder up against the Dallas Mavericks. And that's it for us in the studio. To call all the action, let's go out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. I'll see you again at halftime.
Just earlier, the fans on their feet as the national anthem rang out throughout the arena. The crowd is assembled at the American Airlines Center looking for a Mavericks win here in downtown Dallas. And time now to take a quick look at our State Farm lineups. Hey guys, what are we going to be looking for in this one from Russell Westbrook?
I think the two most explosive point guards in the league right now, Kevin, are Derrick Rose and Westbrook. We just haven't seen the kind of point guards in league history with this kind of finishing ability at the rim.
Well, he does a great job absorbing contact, double clutching. And if he gets a good step on you, forget about it. He can throw it down with the best of it.
Well, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, they won their last contest, that game against the Jazz. And what really made that outcome a surprise was how lopsided it was.
And, Kevin, the starters didn't have too much pressure on them in that game because of how effective the bench guys were.
And another thing getting all those quality minutes from the reserves did was keep their starting five fresh for the second half.
The shot is good from Nowitzki.
And how much do you love to see the big fella knocking down that three there, guys? Seeing the Mavs in the playoffs is something that is almost a given at this point. I mean, they've made it each season since 2001.
The Mavericks have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far.
And guys, they were really plagued by foul trouble in that one. Forced them into some makeshift lineups late in the game.
And Steve, the frustrating part for me in that situation is you can defend without fouling. Just move your feet and don't use your hands.
Offensive rebound. Perkins kicks to Cephalosha. From out on the wing, he knocks it down.
Now they finally connect with their fourth shot of the game.
Dallas has gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Going back to Dallas, you do take for granted that somehow, some way, they'll find their way into the postseason, Steve. But the results, obviously, were they just got in, but they couldn't do anything once they got there.
Well, I give Mark Cuban a ton of credit for what Clark talked about, just the longevity of their success. A lot of that has to do with Dirk Nowitzki as well. But Cuban had a vision. He's put together an amazing franchise, and Dirk has been the superstar to build around. What a run it's been for Dallas.
The Thunder shooting their first free throw of the game.
Yeah, this is a very good free throw shooting team, guys. And when you look at the numbers, impressive.
And they've made progress in that department from last season going into this one, guys. I mean, the numbers have improved. There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
Well, when you think about Rick Carlisle in his 11th season as an NBA coach, you think about consistency. Believe it or not, he's been to the playoffs in 9 of his 10 previous seasons as a head coach. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Now let's send it over to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Scott Brooks.
Coach told me that defensively, he's not even sure how you contain Dirk Nowitzki offensively. He said he really has an unstoppable shot with that turnaround. I don't know how you stop it, but we're going to try. Guys, it always helps to have those athletic, rangy defenders who can at least get a hand in his face. We'll see what matchup they go with defensively.
Thank you, Doris. Westbrook drives in. This is his first free throw of the game.
Well, he's been an 80% free throw shooter on the season. He's shot the ball with confidence from the stripe.
Guys, he is close to where he was last year in that category, but his numbers are still down just a skosh.
Looking at who's out there now for the Mavericks. Eldon Brand's checked in for Kaman. And Delonte West is subbed in for Darren Collison. The Thunder also changing it up. Collison comes in for Kendrick Perkins. And it's Harden in for Serge Ibaka. Here's West. Thunder with the rebound. And Carlisle on a new contract. His last 4-year contract ending last season, but the Mavs were adamant that he wasn't headed anywhere.
Yeah, Carlisle Fantastic coach, for Dallas. Been a great fit. Earned that 4-year extension with, winning that championship. But I think he has turned into one of the best coaches in the NBA, Kevin.
It's clear they had one thing on their mind when they came out of the gate today. Rebounds.
Yeah, they've opened up the game with a pretty good margin in that area. Great sign for this club.
Flawless alley-oop that time. That's some real stylish basketball there.
Almost looks like a play they've been rehearsing for a while.
Well, that's the beauty of the alley-oop. It appears that way, but really it's just timing and sort of an innate sense of awareness between two teammates. Well, Dirk is just so good at the offensive end of the floor, Kevin. The ability to shoot over the top of people. He's added so many things to his game, too. Post-ups, getting to the rim, being aggressive, and going to the foul line. Dirk Nowitzki, a first ballot Hall of Famer, no question.
Most definitely, Steve. This guy has been phenomenal throughout his career, and very few situations bother him. He's clutch as a scorer. He's more clutch because he's an excellent free throw shooter, too.
But you think about Vince Carter, in his day, just a real superstar in Toronto, and he gave us maybe the greatest dunk contest performance of all time back in 2000. But those days are behind him. Still a very capable player, but not a highlight reel guy each and every night.
Chris Kamen's checked in for Dirk Nowitzki. Maynor gets the bucket.
Guys, good job working it down low and getting the high percentage look there. That's good basketball.
Collison, the pass to Kamen. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison. Kamen's got his first basket of the night.
And guys, and you've seen it over the years, one thing about it with the aging former stars like Vince Carter, you've got to try to watch how they operate. Every so often, when the knees are feeling good, they're capable of those throwback performances, but they're not quite as often seen with that type of explosiveness.
And I'll tell you what, they might want to pay a little more attention to him defensively than they did on that last trip.
Maynor dishes to Jones. Left side, Collison. Some nice passing by Oklahoma City here. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And that one's good. Harden's got 5 points so far.
I can imagine they're going to hear an earful about this next stop. I mean, that's 3 straight field goals given up right in the middle of the lane. Inexcusable.
Well, defense starts at the rim. I mean, you want teams shooting the ball from the outside, and that's not happening. They're just giving up everything inside.
And that concludes a back-and-forth high-scoring football match.
Coming up next Sunday night, Josh Smith and the Atlanta Hawks take on Darren Williams and the Brooklyn Nets.
Up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And guys, what's your take so far on the Mavs?
And I thought the key in that first quarter was the offensive aggressiveness. They attacked the rim and got to the foul line.
And I sense they're really feeling good about playing at home, taking advantage of the home court.
So with Nowitzki sitting on the bench, here's who Rick Carlisle's going with. They've got Marion, Mayo out there with Delonte West, and there's Carter. And it's Brand in at the 5 spot.
I've just got to say this. I mean, the Thunder fans have really been spoiled since the team moved to Oklahoma City. 4 years in, and they've made the playoffs in all but the first season.
Durant kicks to Perkins. Durant, the pass to Harden. Maynor, 6 on the shot clock. Over Brand. And Maynor gets it to go. Maynor's got his second basket of the night. The Mavericks leading. Back to Oklahoma City. Made the playoffs. Gone deep more often than not. And talk about winning over a city when they relocated Steve from Seattle. They have done that and more.
Well, that city has really embraced the franchise, Kevin, and it helps when you've got guys like Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook who are not only phenomenal players to watch, but really good people who the community can embrace. So I think the love affair between the team and the community is going to last a long time.
A different look for Dallas. Chris Kamen's checked in for Brand. Nowitzki comes in for Sean Marion. And it's Collison in for Delonte West. The Thunder have gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Collison kicks to Cephalosha. Westbrook.
Oh, are you kidding me? That was a power punch right there.
Great.
I can't imagine that we'll see one better than that tonight.
I'm with you on that, aren't you, Steve?
Oh, yeah, I'd be shocked if we saw something more entertaining than that one.
And that replay sponsored by Sprite, giving us a great look at that one. Fires from the wing. And there's Dirk Nowitzki on the assist by Collison.
Well, Thunder head coach Scott Brooks had some pretty good days in his NBA career. Actually went undrafted out of UC Irvine, but ended up playing in the CBA and then played, I think, 8 or 9 years in the NBA. Ended up winning a title with Houston in 1994.
Westbrook. Good. And now it's a 3-point Thunder lead.
Well, for him, that finger roll is almost second nature. That's a tough shot for most players.
I like the way they've picked it up here offensively in the second.
Well, they've really caught fire. Their shooting percentage is in the high 50s now, so they're rolling.
Well, you mentioned Coach Brooks and his background as a point guard. You see a lot of former point guards, I think, Steve, becoming head coaches.
Yeah, it's true, Kevin. You think about the guys who have had to lead teams as point guards. It's a natural transition for them to go into coaching. They're used to directing traffic. They're used to kind of figuring things out during a game, so they have to think their way through a contest. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense that point guards sometimes make good coaches.
Collison kicks to Cook, and there's the feed to Westbrook. And it's Westbrook again missing. Mavericks trail by 3. Kaman inside. The shot's good. Collison making the play. Collison's got 3 assists now in this one.
Boy, they are really getting chewed up inside here. I mean, that's 8 of the last 10 points they've given up inside, in the paint.
Yeah, and the paint should be sacred ground for a defense. I mean, you can't let anybody just trot in there and get an easy bucket.
And that'll be Oklahoma City's ball as it goes out of bounds. Well, so important to have 3-point shooters that can stretch the defense and open things up. These small forwards have been doing just that over the last month. The 4th position, Vince Carter.
Now, these guys are all constant threats on the perimeter. Shooting the 3 isn't all they do, but it's a lot of what they do.
And as small forwards, they can take it straight to the hole and get their points in close, too. I mean, all of these guys can hurt you inside and out.
And stolen by Mayo.
You know, Kevin, by and large, the turnover story hasn't been that bad for them. I mean, they've only given up a handful.
I'm not sure which was better, the fast break or the steal that got it started.
I think it was the defense, Steve, quite honestly. I mean, the whole play isn't even possible if he doesn't make the steal.
You know, guys, one of the reasons Dallas did not re-sign Tyson Chandler last year was they wanted to preserve some cap space. And they had Dwight Howard in mind, but Dallas has had to use their cap space elsewhere. But, you know, the key was just developing enough flexibility to give them a lot of different options. And I think that's always a factor for any NBA team.
You know, the dunk was great, but I didn't care for that interior defense there, guys. It was non-existent.
You're right, Clark. You know, it was way too easy. I don't think the coach liked it either. Look at it. Look at that face. Uh-oh.
It doesn't get much easier than that. They have got to tighten up their defense. That was embarrassing.
Here's Cook. And again, Oklahoma City with the triple. Dallas, to me, Steve, always seems a team very mindful of upcoming free agents and cap space restrictions. One of the reasons why they made the moves last year. Even if, Clark, they don't get a big name, they always seem to be in the mix somewhere.
Well, they're always hovering around, and I think it points to the savvy of the front office there, Kevin. I mean, and that's really what allows teams to be competitive over long periods of time. It's not just about the players you have and their talent, but it's how you acquire players and piece together your team.
They're very forward-thinking, aren't they?
Yeah. He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
No good. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Mayo dishing to Nowitzki. He feeds it to Collison. Back to Nowitzki. Dallas moving it around. No good with the triple. Carter kicks to Nowitzki. Over Jones. That doesn't go either for Nowitzki.
Really high-quality shot there. Just a little off with his release.
That miss right there will...
And that does it for the first half of play. Thunder out in front, up by 6.
The Timberwolves will